I was working on some sweep patterns. Now let me see if I can get this right. Yeah, let me put down a little loop in B. So the sweep pattern I was doing was something like this. That was dreadful, but anyway, something like this. Anyway, something like that, and I was working on these patterns. Maybe it was this 4-string sweep. Yeah, something like that. And it basically made me think, oh man, if I didn't have that shift, I could continue that pattern. So something like that anyway. And that was really the moment when I thought seriously about changing. So anyway, here we are, and today's topic is talking about why I decided to change to fourth. So basically, if you don't know, I play in fourth tuning, which is E, A, D, G, C, F. But not everyone knows that I played in standard tuning for a big part of my life. So I started playing when I was 11, and I played standard tuning up until I was about 26, I think. And kind of there's a main reason why I really decided to do it, so I wanted to discuss that. I was in a band with an incredible musician called Glasgow. He's a bass player. He's still very active and very awesome. So Kev, I need to give you a call. Go check him out. One of the most talented people, technically gifted but also very creative. And we had a band together called KamsPalace. Some of you might know that. We had an obscure MySpace page. I tried to look for it, can't find it, but some of you might know about that music. Anyway, the bassist tuned in fourths anyway, okay? And he was saying, oh look man, you should really try it on guitar. And one of his friends, a guy called Ant Law, was already tuning in fourths too. And they would kind of make fun and say, oh, you should do it, for like at least a year or two. And I just kept playing, kept doing my thing. And basically, I came to the realization that it would really help my instinctive playing. So I'm going to explain that towards the end. But for those of you who don't know, I'm going to show you why fourth is really great. I'm not saying that you should do it, but I just think it's a good idea to understand why someone might. So the first thing I'm going to say is, let's say you take a triad, something like this, a D major triad, right? That shape is a major sound. Do it up here an octave. It's exactly the same shape. Now I'm in standard tuning on this guitar. Here, if I do the same shape, all right, and here, if I do the same shape, of course it doesn't sound like a major chord. So on regular tuning, we have to change the shape, and then here too. So that's like 3 different shapes, right? This being the final one. And in fourths, you don't have to do that. Exactly the same, right? Let me show you another thing. If I do a G major scale in the traditional way, but if I play it here, it doesn't work, right? So we have to shift. If I play it here, it definitely doesn't work. You have to, in fourths, you keep the same shape. Same. Everywhere. Here. Okay, same with a major chord. If I play a C major here, okay, then it changes. Then it changes again. If I do a major 7, okay, I have to change the shape. In fourths, you don't have to do that. C major, F major, and then B flat major, C, B, same shape, a minor. So if you imagine that times everything you ever learn, it's quite daunting. And at the time that I was making this kind of decision, should I change, should I not change, I was trying to play things like giant steps. I'm trying to play it in standard. So it was very difficult. And when you're having to think too much, I was trying to avoid overthinking. Right, so let me grab my guitar in fourths and show you what I mean. I think this will really get you going if you think about it like this. So what chord is this, right? Look closely. Hopefully you're all shouting E major. So then what should this be? A minor, I hear you cry. And this one, oh, D minor major 7. But that's kind of weird, right? Because the shape is the same. So why shouldn't the chord be the same? So in fourths, here's an E major, an A major, then a D major. So this would be an E minor, right? Then an A minor, then a D minor. Now let's say I wanted to make that a 9 shape, E minor 9. Exactly the same, A minor 9, D minor 9. So you get like different open chords as well. So some people say, oh, you know, you lose certain chords, but you gain others. So this is a lovely B flat minor, which I like to use a lot. So you get different open chords. As I was talking about stuff like, you know, the giant steps or whatever, you know, when you're trying to play over these chords, you know, there's loads going on in your mind, right? So if I was trying to play arpeggios over the chords or chord tones, it just seems to flow a little bit more. You know, so I can... And that's a big reason why I did it. And also, I wanted to eliminate all of the overthinking. I wanted to try and play more on instinct. So if you think about intervals as well, you know, if this is a third, then everywhere. Okay. In standard tuning, this third would be the same here, but here it would be that. That sort of cycle continues if you do wider intervals, like a sixth. So these are all sixes. Now that sixth there in standard tuning would be here, exactly the same. When you go here, you need to change the shape to this. If you were to do it on the higher string, you then have to play it like this. But in fourths, it's exactly the same. So then if you take that mentality and add it to, you know, everything you do, apply it to everything you do, you could argue that there's kind of 2/3 of information that you just don't need to worry about, because it's all a lot more symmetrical. Now, the funny thing about it is when I decided to do it, I knew I was going to be faced with a decision, which was the standard of my playing was going to drop. Okay, but this is how I looked at it. So let's say this is me in standard, this is me in fourths. So in fourths, my standard was going to drop, right? And let's say I was continuing, I believed that the rate of my development would be sort of exponentially quicker in fourths, eventually overtaking where I was in standard tuning. Now, the funny thing with that is that I have no idea if that's true or not. Of course, how could we measure that? But what I can say is that when I play, I do feel like I play a lot more on instinct, you know, and that was the thing that was important to me. So that's really the reason for why I changed to fourths. Yeah, maybe I'll just leave you with a little bit of a jam. As I got this guitar now, it'll be this.